Number 21 is a great example of my favorite strategy, plug points into equations. Now we clearly have an equation, but this story makes it hard for us to realize that we're also given a point that we can plug in. So let's just take a look at this story and see if we can match up all the information that we're given with this weird looking equation. So it says Clayton will mix X milliliters of a 10% by mass saline solution. So the 10% is already in the equation, right? So that 10% matches with this 0.10 in the equation. So that actually doesn't help us. So let's get rid of that. And it continues, we're mixing that 10% solution with Y milliliters of a 20% by mass saline solution in order to create an 18% by mass saline solution. So again, the 20% is the 0.20 and the 18% is the 0.18 that are already in the equation. So those numbers don't affect us in any way. They were already taken care of for us. But the next sentence gives us something that's actually important, or actually the next piece here. The equation above represents the situation. If Clayton uses 100 milliliters of the 20% by mass saline solution, how many milliliters of the 10% by mass saline solution must he use? So really they're telling us that 100, because it matches with the 20%, is the value of Y because it also matches with the 20%, which they tell us earlier in the question. So we're really just kind of following instructions here and putting this number into the right part of this equation. This is a point and we're plugging it in. So let's rewrite what we're given with this new piece of information in the equation. So most of it doesn't change. So it's going to be 0.10x plus 0.20 times 100, that's this 100 right here, equals 0.18 times x plus 100. Notice there's two y's that we're plugging into. That's okay. Doesn't matter that the equation is weird. We just do as we're told. And now this is hopefully going to look a lot like just normal algebra to you. There's a bunch of x's, and we know that if we have one variable in an equation, we can almost always solve for that variable. So now it's just a matter of kind of following the order of operations and simplifying this and seeing if we can get x by itself. So let's start by distributing and doing all this multiplication. So we're going to distribute that 0.2 to the 100, and this 0.18 gets distributed to both of those terms. So that's going to rewrite this equation for us as 0.10x plus, now we have a calculator, but hopefully you know 0.20 times 100 is just 20, is equal to 0.18x plus 18. Again, you can use a calculator, it's the calculator section, but you should know how to multiply decimals by 100. Now our next step is pretty simple as well. We're just going to combine like terms. So we have the 0.10x and the 0.18x, so we can subtract. Let's move 0.10x by subtracting it from both sides. And then we're going to do the same thing with this 18, subtract it over, and that way we have a completed equation. Let's do this let's cross this out. So this is gone, and this is gone, and this is going to leave us with 20 minus 18 is equal to 0.08x, 0.18 minus 0.10. And our final step here is the one where we probably should use a calculator. We're going to divide both sides of this equation by 0.08 to get x by itself. And yeah, you should do that in your calculator. And we should get that 25 is the answer. And that is choice B, which is the answer. So we have yet another example on this test of a story that doesn't really matter. Like, I don't really care about saline or anything like that. This is really just an equation with an elaborate description where they're just throwing the most important piece of information away in a sentence. And we just got to pull that piece out, plug it into the equation, and then we're done with the reading. We're done with the reading part of this question, and we can just focus on the math, which isn't that hard once we have this equation ready to go. So don't get intimidated by stories. If you've got equations, look for points, see what you can plug in.